Welcome to CelloPro.net. My name is Paul Fleury. At some point in your beginning career, or your intermediate career, or your advanced career, you are going to want to buy an instrument. So, let me open Pandora's box, as it may be, and let you in on a few little hints and secrets. First of all, if you're a small child, or you have a small child, and they are fairly small, do not buy a cello. First of all, fractional size instruments are very, very difficult to resell, and children have a habit of doing a growth spurt where in 6 months they can be into the next size of an instrument. Instruments, cellos for example, come in many sizes. 4/4, full-size cello. This is actually a 7/8, a lady's cello. 3/4, 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 1/32, 1/64, and I have actually heard that the Chinese have now developed a 1/128th size instrument, which is smaller than a violin. Okay, so anytime you're looking at any of the fractionals up to 3/4, always rent it. Now, depending on where you are, you might be in a rural area, it might be very difficult to get one. And you go surfing on the web, like you're watching this video right now. And you come across a beautiful site called eBay. Okay. eBay, Yahoo, Ubid, and half the instrument dealers on the face of the planet are now on the web, and they are pawning off everything from great instruments to absolutely, you can't burn them instruments. That's how bad they are. So, a few quick guidelines. If you are in the market to buy a cello, and you can't rent one, and you want to go on eBay, you see the $69.95 special, please ignore it. Because by the time you get it set up, you have that's about $100 to set the instrument up. By the time you get a good set of strings that don't sound like, you know, nails on a chalkboard, you're looking at about $100 there. You're already into about $300 for your instrument if you include shipping, and you will never be able to resell it. So stay away from anything that's really under, I would say, $700. $600 to $700 is where you start for a fractional instrument that's halfway decent. When you get up into the full-size instruments, you're going to get every dealer and their son wanting to sell you something for $2,000, maybe $1,500. Stay away from these instruments. They're brand new. I don't care if they are solid wood with really nice strings. Guess what? The solid wood you're paying for comes straight out of China. It was probably milled 6 months ago. What happens with new instruments? Any of them. German, Hungarian, Romanian, Chinese, Suzuki instruments, you know, even the American, quote-unquote, American-made instruments now. If they're new, they can go one of two ways. They can get better in sound, the more they're played, or they can get worse. It's a crapshoot. Second of all, new instruments have not had a chance to be played in yet. I am absolutely a fanatic about old instruments because they have been played and played and played and played, and basically how they sound now is how they're always going to sound. If they haven't been played for a while, they will actually sound better. They do not go down. Also, appreciation and value. The older the instrument you get, rule of thumb, the more it's going to appreciate. A new instrument, it's not going to appreciate. I don't care if it's a $15,000 cello from the backwoods of Tennessee. You know, no offense for any luthiers in Tennessee, but you know what I'm saying. It's not going to appreciate. Your investment is going to go down. An old instrument, it's going to go up. Here are some terms that you stay away from when buying an instrument. Laminated. No, 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 no. Why? All it is basically a plastic sealant which deadens the sound. The cello will never be able to project, it will never be able to resonate, and you will never get any sympathetic resonance between the strings. Plywood. If it's plywood, that means it's cheap. That means it's under $300, under $200, and it doesn't burn worth anything either. Okay, always go for solid wood cellos. Any varnish other than hand-rubbed varnish or polish, stay away from, because something's been done to it. Fourth, if the instrument looks old, doesn't mean it is old. The Chinese, the Americans, the Romanians, Hungarians, you name it, have perfected ways to antique an instrument so that they can make it look like a really old 1792 instrument. Don't be fooled by dings and scratches. They're purposely put in there to throw you off. Do your research. Play lots of instruments. Get your kid to play lots of instruments. You know, the best thing you can do is save your money, budget your money, and get the best that you possibly can. Okay, these are words of advice from someone who's been around, and a teacher, 15 years almost now I've been teaching, and I've seen every cello that's been on eBay. So, pick wisely. Any questions or you have problems, you know where to reach me on cellopro.net. Thank you very much.